Card games, yeah, pretty much. How's it going? How's it going? Today we're doing the 4 bonus light elemental raids, so things are going to be a little bit different for these last 2 weeks. Because, in addition to everything else, light and dark have somewhat harder bosses compared to the other 4. Thank you. That final boss was pretty tough. I gotta post the stream archives of the last day of Wind Waker, and I will try to do that sometime tonight, but I'm really bad at remembering to upload stuff. So, yes. In terms of main game, after this stream, I'll just be going and rounding out Hollow Knight before I start on another game. I have no idea how much time I have left. I have no idea how much content I have left in Hollow Knight. But instead of me sitting here talking for like 50,000 minutes here, let me reset up my Windows. Oh, OBS doesn't want to let me see my timer very well here. Hollow Knight is a lot of fun, but I do admit that like part of my long breaks between streams is that I'm kind of afraid that I will just forget things very, very seriously and not ease back into it very well. And, you know, I mean, I scrub it up pretty hard in, like, everything anyway, but still. So, to start off this set of raids, first of all, we're using a Dark Element party here. I've got a character in the back here that I've never really done much with. I just raised him up to his level cap, and that's it. And I don't remember very much about this fight, so this might be kind of terrible. But on the other hand, this one's pretty low level compared to a lot of the other stuff at this point. So it shouldn't be too horrible, hopefully. And my strategy is going to be a little different for this than what I usually do because, of course, I'm doing this around 8 o'clock. This is our crew's strike time, so we get full charge for everybody to start the fight with. Otherwise, I would specifically be using a set of actions designed to fill these meters first turn and get a massive burst. Dark is designed primarily around racing really, really hard. And it has been very bad at doing endurance run type of stuff, just historically, and even with attempts to introduce more to help with that, it hasn't really worked out very well. People have mostly just disdained a lot of them, except in the very, very high-level content where you're restricted to like 6 players, or you need 1 dark player and they have to be able to stick around for more than like 3 turns. So this could be interesting because I'm actually using a fairly more racing-minded setup than what I usually do. Okay, start things off. We're using... Did I use Apsaris in any of my previous... Yes, I use Apsaris as wind in one of the raids. But things are a little different here, primarily by the addition of this skill, Randgrith, which is going to cap out the defense down against this boss with another character's skill. It's basically just the defense down effect from Mist, but it stacks with Mist to a total of 50% defense down against a target. And yes, it's basically a knockdown version of a skill from another class, but this allows me the flexibility to use this class. This is a very good support-oriented class that can do a lot of things decently, but not perfectly. But I still like playing it a lot, maybe just because I have this thing for the sort of underdog type of setups. Let's get our defense downs in. Zeta's skill, Infinite Wonders, here is just Mist plus a burn. A pretty shitty burn, but a burn nonetheless. Lady Grey here is going to give us a little bit of defense with Dusk's Descent. We have no reason to use either of these buffs right now. And we'll summon Bahamut to get our damage increases here. And start using skills this turn? Fuck it, why not? Okay. So here we can also get a better look at the Apsaros' main gimmick. I may have covered this a while back, and if I did, I'm sorry, but if not, it basically changes how the class functions depending on whether you're using a spear or an axe as your main weapon. And here I'm using a spear. Alan would be so pissed at me right now. So we'll do some damage. That damage is absolutely inflated to a ludicrous extent because we have a lot of damage cap increasing abilities on our grid. And Kalulu can do Tally-Ho. And she can substitute as well. She doesn't really need to, but why not? Do this. And throw in our first turn. And we get a lot of buffs out of our spear there. It's kind of the best easy to farm weapon, although it is time restricted in that you can only do it during the Xeno Diablo event. But the uplift effect gives us 10% charge every turn for like 3 turns or something. And we get a damage supplement effect, which means every instance of damage we do is increased. It can get kind of ridiculous, especially with this setup, because this skill, this is kind of going to be one of our most important skills here, this Double Trouble 3. We have a spear equipped. Boost based on number of casters buffs. I've never seen that before. But because we have a spear equipped, in addition to the fact that we deal a triple attack for this turn, all parties in the raid gain a boost to their multi-attack rates. By a pretty good chunk, apparently. This gives a nice chunk of buffs to a single target, a shield worth 70% of the target's max HP up to a maximum of 4,000, a Dark Echo effect, and the effect disappears upon taking damage, which kind of sucks, but we can deal with it. And we're going to summon Hades to get that charge bar gain boost here. I don't think we can put this boss to sleep. Never mind. We can put the boss to sleep. So that's just free real estate for a turn. And I actually forgot to hit Lady Grey's other buff here, Knight's Grace. This gives us the Death's Grace ability, so if we were taking damage per turn, we would heal it instead. We get a drain, we get a lifesteal effect, and we get just a raw 20% bonus to everybody's meter. Yeah, this team does a lot of stuff really well. Again, another spear-oriented team. I do a lot of these single type base teams, but they're very strong, so it's not like, oh, I'm doing some weird gimmick. Oh, maybe I am, but yeah. That is kind of how the metagame is structured in this game a lot, is just build a team that's really good with a single weapon type and use those Ultima weapons, i.e. like the spear in the center of the grid. They don't have to match element-wise, by the way. It just sometimes is really useful to do so. If you want to use them as your main weapon in the element, often if there are no options is when you do that. And we'll substitute. She should survive this, because it's going to be like a one-hit attack, basically. Yeah, and it does like nothing to us, so... Counting down... Oh god, is she going to die in a few turns? No, just takes damage. So she should be safe. Runagriff. Get our triple attacks. This skill, 3 turns of triple attacks at the cost of 30% of your meter. It's a pretty standard thing, but also it's very strong. We're just probably not going to use all 3 turns in succession here. Summon Bahamut again. We get to get that buff a lot because with Bahamut at... Bahamut's 5-star, yeah. 5-star. You can summon him every 6 turns. And you get like 3 turns of attack boost, and the other things are spent as soon as they get a chance to, but they're huge boosts. Otherwise, I think they last 3 turns. So even with me slowing down to explain things... Oh, God, she actually did get 1 shot. That's kind of bullshit. Also, Vasaraga and Zeta have little conversations between each other. That's pretty great. Hey, it's Pro ZD. And also, speaking of hey, that thing... Hey, look, a Code Geass crossover. There have been a couple of crossover events. I pointed at the Shadowverse one once and it was just like, that shit, who cares? Because, honestly, it was shit and who cared. But I bet somebody's going to get really upset about that, but eh. Alright, so there's not much use to dropping Great Scythe Grind off right now because it's damage, but it's a waste of charge. Alright, we'll pop Instinction. Wow, that damage! That's a pretty huge skill cap on that just by default, even before the boosts take effect. And more importantly, it gives us that jammed effect, so as Vasaraga's HP goes down, which is bound to happen, he's gonna get stronger. Jammed is basically the inverse of Strength, which we've seen Lady Grey applying constantly, which is basically the same as the enmity weapon skills, like on... Well, 2 things on this grid anyway. Alright, so we'll throw up some shields, and... this should do a pretty good chunk of damage here, too. Well, like, nearly 10% at least. Oh, wow! Vasaraga just destroying people right now. What a guy. What a champion. Because he has... where is it in the buff? Here it is. Oh wow, it boosts his skill damage specifications too. That's pretty big. So, while he has that, he casts Instinction every time he gets targeted, which should be a lot because he's got that hostility boost on him, so basically the enemy is just like, oh yes, let me target the big beefy guy in the armor. This is totally a good idea. And just look at him absolutely pulling out ridiculous bullshit basically here. Health Sharing. I think that one's a time targeted, well, time in air quotes. The time limit never matters except when it's time for it to hit 0. 5%, we can probably do this without even hitting the attack button. Okay, not quite. But pretty close. Yeah, I think that Hell's Chariot attack is triggered by Apollo hitting 10% HP. That fight is like completely different from the hard mode version of it, so I don't remember like anything about it whatsoever. And we get a bunch of these, which those are useful. We didn't get any weapons, which is kind of sad because I actually do kind of want to pick up some of the weapons from the Apollo raids, so I should be doing more of them, but here we are. Alright, let's go up against Luminera, Omega, impossible. Also known as Chevalier is the name in... well, yes, Chevalier is a French word, but that is the name of the enemy in Japanese is Chevalier, and for some reason it was changed to Luminera when it was localized in English. I do not know why that was. But this is a raid that's changed quite a bit over time. It used to be absolutely essential to destroy these two little side items, because otherwise one of them would use an attack that was just devastating. But otherwise, this is actually kind of an easier fight than the regular one, because the rather notorious shield trigger is changed entirely. Also, you will notice we're not doing nearly as much damage here because I think Chev has a much higher base defense. But also, the HP pool is split between 3 targets, so it's gonna end up not really having a ton of an effect. And this might actually end up being an easier fight than Apollo because there's no instant death spell like that fight had, which, again, didn't realize that that was an instant death thing. And let's do a little more of this. Get our increased attack rate here. Oh, you can pop stick on Euro already. Well, I'll take any sort of guarantee of free damage that I can. I haven't really given a good explanation as to what this character does, by the way. So, this skill eats 30% of her max health. Unfortunately, it's not bound to her current actual health, which would make it a little easier to reuse. To refill her meter and recharge all of her other skills, take them off cooldown immediately. So usually you'd think, okay, yeah, save that for when you need it so that way you can substitute as necessary. Usually I just pop it straight away and just wait to use the substitute anyway and then get this nuke in as fast as possible. Because the damage on it is pretty good, it can lower defense, and it has a turn-based blind effect that is actually borderline worthless from my experience. Okay, so this is the version of what Luminera usually does, is Aegis Merge to video. So, in the regular version of the fight, I'm not concerned about my time whatsoever right now because, of course, our debuffs are gone. In the regular version of this fight, on the first turn, if you don't push to 50%, she casts Aegis Merge, which removes all of her debuffs and puts up like 99% cuts for everything, and regen and debuff immunity. And you have to get rid of it by dispelling the debuff immunity, at which point she purges the rest of the shield and you're free to continue with the fight. So usually what you do at low levels is you sandbag against it, you hit her once, dispel, and then reapply your debuffs and everything, and then start going at turn 3, basically. The problem is that is raid-wide. The defenses apply to everybody in the raid, and so you end up with... Early on, if you're low level, you start calling in people for help, and you'll end up in a case sometimes where you get like 26 people who came in with no dispel. And the raid is just fucking stuck because nobody even tries to push against it. For understandable reasons. So this one is actually less bad than that. Defense and debuff resistance are boosted. Damage is cut 90%. I'm pretty sure that that's less than the other one. HP is restored on every turn. This is a local buff. So When this happens, if it takes place in the other raid, you don't just randomly have people throwing up a shield that you have to deal with. They just purge the debuffs. And so if you're deep enough in, you just keep hitting it and nothing happens. And so at this point, we're actually going to target the side units for a little bit, just to show off a little bit of that. I think it's the middle one that takes regular damage, because one of them takes reduced damage from everything but, like, summons, chain bursts, stuff like that. And I believe I've chosen correctly. Also, this is a good excuse to get everybody to keep refreshing their buffs from their charge attacks and everything else like that. And see, look at that. That pretty much is pierced. I think chain damage pierces through defense, but it is based on the total amount of damage you do. Alright, propagation. Is that the defense buff against this? It's gone already, so who cares? And then we have this effect, deadlocked. Nobody can land double attacks, and it's a field effect. So dealing with it is very hard, aside from just keep hitting things. You can always just luck out and get triples, though, so that's fine. It's a complete non-issue, basically. Phase shift, yeah, that's doing, like, nothing. This is what you would usually have to worry about, is this targeting. But I'm pretty sure that even at this point, this thing is not going to do enough damage to be a worry to us. I may be proven wrong in a moment, but we'll see how this goes. Because admittedly, I'm also walking into everybody doing their things all at once. And yeah, see, we get hit by like, nothing of note here. Unfortunately, we are charge sealed, which, you know, that just makes life a little bit difficult. That's gonna slow down our DPS a decent chunk here, but I'll live with it. I won't like it, but I'll live with it. Also, notice that our shield is still up from Hands into Necronia, which is the beginning of the fight, basically. This boss doesn't do anything of note anymore. Like, it does some things to slow you down, but that's about it. Plus, its Aegis Merge is already broken, so, who cares? This is kind of sad, honestly. Like, we might have one character die, and that would be about it. How long does this last? One turn, and one turn left, right? Yes. Okay, so by putting the enemy to sleep, it should help. I think the other two bits just completely are immune to sleep, which is unfortunate. Oh, is that shield gonna break? Is it gonna... No, the shield is still up. Amazing. And I believe that getting a new shield for the Hands of Necronia effect just refreshes the... It doesn't really care about a specific shield, just that you don't... Just that you lose the echoes when your character takes damage. So again, it's just kind of whatever. Alright, so Divine Weapon. I don't remember what this does. Multi-attack rate is boosted. Chance to remove one buff with every one ally attack. That's pretty annoying, but I think it's surmountable. Yeah, okay, keep being useless there. That's a good look for you. So we're not going to use any of our skills this turn because the skill damage boost from Thunder on the Water is only lasts for 2 turns. And that won't refresh if we pop that now, and popping Fighting Spirit is a waste of charge. Which is something that I keep pointing that out, and, like, don't worry, it's never or very rarely necessary to micromanage to that level, but I just kind of don't like to leave anything on the floor, you know? At least not in that regard. In real life, I admit to not necessarily being the best organized. Alright, so we're getting some buffs purged, only the crit, which is not really the most useful thing in the whole world anyway. Alright, so let's do this. Get up Bahamut and go in for some more damage. Amazing, I forgot to use my buff. Alright, Purge Ray finally, like, close to taking some damage. And Lady Grey took a hostility boost. That, we're gonna get around that just by virtue of activating Kalulu's substitute. Also, because she's at disturbingly low HP, I should note that she has a thing going on where, at very low HP, she basically recasts her nuke like every turn. She starts the battle with a guts effect. She can survive a lethal hit once, dropping to 1 HP. And also, her attack and defense go up as she takes damage. Unfortunately, we're not going to get to see any of that here, but we'll probably get a good look at it in the next fight. Because, oh boy, the next fight is long, and I use her in a kind of risky manner. So let's take our bonuses here, and no light host crystals. That's kind of a pisser. But we have a reasonable stock still, so we can fight Metatron anyway. Level 120. What a fucking lie that is. Wow. Alright, let's go. I don't know if I'm going to be able to beat this solo without a revive, but we will see. Okay. Debuffs. Don't be an asshole, Metatron. Just take this on the chin. That's a good boy. Debuff, buff, and start dealing damage. Okay, his defense is somewhere between the last 2 raids. And we're waiting until the next turn in order to finish off our salvo of damage nukes. Damage nukes, yeah. Unlike regular nukes, which do absolutely nothing. Her attack name was changed in English, I think so. Alright. And of course, there's no reason to pop that substitute just yet, so we're not going to. Alright, Metatron cannot be put to sleep. A lot of the high-level raids cannot be put to sleep or paralyzed or anything like that for balance reasons or something. Okay, so do this, and Here comes the part where I realize that I didn't cast Hands of Necronia last turn, and I feel like a goddamn idiot. But also, we're gonna pop this right now because she has enough meter that that's fine. And we're having Kalulu use Substitute, and you're going to see her health vanish. Like, she's not going to get as low as she was that last fight, but she's going to get pretty close. Because, I won't spoil it, but you'll see it in a second. If you're unaware of this, which again, I'm not sure why I act like, oh, I need to do this for people who've never played this. So, that attack that Metatron just used is 4 hits of non-elemental damage that ignores shields based on the target's current HP. So she took all 4 hits of that. I think it's something like a third of their current health, and her health just kind of disappeared. But she's still alive, and she's going to take advantage of that to take advantage of her raised stats and her ability to just mass recast her nukes. And I'm going to actually throw that on her so that way she has a little more protection. Instead of just taking as much of the... Instead of giving myself as many freebies as possible, I'm going to go for the safer alternative here because, again, I'm trying to do this completely solo and without reviving if possible. Okay, that hurt, but it could be a lot worse for us because, keep in mind, we're very heavy on the enmity effects. We don't mind taking damage as long as we stay alive. It's basically the principle of Suicide Black, but in a different game. Amazing, I'm still making magic references even though I quit, like, months ago. Dear God, when did I quit? And I'm still... Well, I guess some things never really go away from you, right? Some things are just a part of you forever. Okay, this... We're coming up to a part here. I don't know what's coming this phase, because he's in overdrive, and his meter is full. His 2 charge diamonds are full. He's going to drop an attack on us, and I forgot to turn off my auto nukes there. But keeping those buffs is probably good. Ooh, that could do a lot of damage. Okay, that's kind of laughable, actually. Only kind of, though. I'm actually going to heal from that, because that is quite a bit, nonetheless. And we'll summon Colossus to get some shield on, because everybody could use a little bit of that right now. We need at least another turn here, so we'll pop Signo Nero now, and... Alright. Yeah, I've fucked that up a little bit, but it's probably not run killing. These shields are not going to hold, but I'm going to do this now. Let's get our damage in. And see what the other damage is in just a moment. That drain is putting in a decent amount of work here because we're getting a little extra sustain, and I wish it was higher than 500 as a cap, but whatever, I'll take it. Oh, that dodge is nice. That feels good. Alright, so now we'll use our crossover power here. Incidentally, yes, if the number blinks off, look at how low our HP is, 1987. We cannot do this. Yeah, see, our HP is too low. So that's not tremendous. We'll give her a little more shield. Like, we could heal her and then cast that, but that's kind of a waste. And this is where I realized I really fucked up, because you kind of want to get rid of that. Play it as is strengthened. We might get absolutely just fucking wrecked here in a second. Because I don't have a way to purge that. And I should have brought something to deal with that. And I also, again, forgot to turn that off, which it's kind of amazing that I'm playing this badly. Okay. Substitute. Heal. Give that triple boost, and let's see what this looks like. Let's see if she dies, basically. Because it's still going to count as multiple hits, and she took, like, nothing from it. And she still died. Never mind. Fuck, well, at least it's gone. I forgot that was a one-shot thing, too, so that makes my life a little bit easier. And in fact, I'm going to actually do this with 3 people, even though I should be with 4 because I'm an idiot. But I want him to have his buff ready so that way he can just get rolling. Because we saw against Apollo, Vasaraga does hilarious things when he's given the chance. Unfortunately, the problem is now going to be he has to be given the chance. And I don't think he is going to be given the chance. Alright, come on, aim at him. Let him do his thing. Alright. And let's push. And I think this turn is going to hurt, but it's not going to be god-awful. We're going to get a little low, and we're not particularly going to like it. Yeah, see, he's not doing too much. I mean, we could be doing a lot better, but I've seen worse out of this guy, basically, just already. And we'll throw in our nukes, and carry on. And again, look at Vasaraga just not caring. Buddy, I love you. I would use it more if I wasn't, like, a spear loadout for this specific element so much. But it is what it is. Alright, we're kind of in the danger zone of taking another Pleiades, but which we don't want to do, but I don't want to spend everybody's thing right now. We're just gonna activate Signal Nero, and we're going to hope against absolutely nothing that we get that's just completely free, isn't it? Alright, so Obade Grinoth is gone. Jam's still in effect for 1 turn, yes, because it keeps getting refreshed. We'll pop that. Get our buffs on the go. We get a damage cap boost. Let's keep rolling here. Keep doing our damage. Keep doing our thing. Because once we hit 50%, we're really going to be in the shit. It's going to get kind of frustrating. And with how much damage I'm taking, I don't like my chances, but I do need to point out that this is absolutely a much tankier fight than the previous 4. That Metatron takes a lot more punishment, deals a lot more damage. This is like a step up from the last few, so I don't feel as bad about possibly failing this as I did that one that we will never speak of ever again. And if you do, I'll cry. Oh boy, I'm really gonna hope that I have a shield ready. Because these... Yeah, so we're in the 50% phase. And the fight changes entirely here. Resonance starts us off by taking a third of a target's health and giving them a ridiculous hostility increase and a defense reduction. A stackable defense reduction as well. Purging that is not exactly simple. And making life worse, as we will see in this next turn. Alright, so everybody's going to attack. And then Metatron's going to attack. Oh, he's going to double trigger? What an asshole. So, get ourselves on the go here. And you'll notice he did not attack. Yeah. It's kind of a problem for, very specifically for Vasaraga. And like for a couple of other characters that care about being targeted. So I'm going to do something that I have never done before in any of these. And I'm going to use a sticker to get a free healing potion. This blue potion will give the entire party back 1/3 of their health. Because I don't want to use a revive item just yet. Hey Zephy, well that's fine, you can lurk. Today, despite my loudness, thank you for the host by the way. Despite the fact that I am projecting very heavily. Hey look, my new character. Despite the fact that I'm projecting very heavily, this is intended to be a relatively more chill stream. So by all means, lurk your ass off. So we'll do this. We're not going to use a shield just yet. And Marchiares. I have never used this guy in any serious manner, so let me try to get a handle on him real quick. Can't stack for 1 turn, sharp boost. Do next turn, boost the hostility, restore 10 MP. I don't remember what this guy's passives are, but he's sort of based around micromanaging MP and gets boost based on it. 3 MP, revitalize effect, light damage reduction to just him, so that's kind of worthless. Reign of Terror, restore all allies' HP, use 3 MP shield. I'm not going to use any of his skills just yet. We're going to do this. Also, yes, in case you hadn't noticed, Marchiares here has these really cool looking sunglasses. I like how it's completely different in his portrait here compared to his in-battle sprite, where he's got, like, Kamina shades, except in solid black. It's so great. I love him. Okay, so we're down to 2 MP because I think he just spends them over time. So we don't get our shield from him, but I don't think his shield is very strong anyway. So Colossus, do your thing. Marky Mark, give us some healing. Only 1500, but it's free healing state, you know. I cannot complain too much. And skills for 1 turn. Actually, no. Now is not the time to do Unholy Warcry. Ooh! And we are affected by Strong Armed, which prevents us from healing. This guy is a real douchebag. Activate Hades. Do all this. We're having a bear of a time right now because like all of our debuffs are gone. You're 4 MP. You're in a pretty good position here. I can actually pop Mystic Moon right now. And you get some light defense, and you get Revitalize, which is regen, but if you can't heal, you gain back 10 meter. And we missed our defense down. At least this should land. Death Sentence. Yes. Alright. Give it to him. So, now, Metatron is on a 3-attack cycle, I believe. When his meter fills, he's going to do Resonance next, which is going to basically select a target for the next 2. And then he's going to do Circuit, which is the one that does like 1 billion hits. And then he's going to do Nimbus, which is the 2-hitter. And I'm going to do that. And you're going to wait for a turn before you do anything. Alright, we are super up against it, folks. This fight is getting pretty gross. And our shields got shredded. Please don't die over there. Oh my god. Sheesh. Can you believe this shit? We have no heals other than just popping a full elixir, which is basically a reset button. So I want to wait to do that until the end of the fight. And by end of the fight, I mean if we die. Oh, look at that damage. Yeah, so Marky Ares does more damage and has an increased damage cap for his charge attack if he has more MP. He also, like, drains all of it, especially if it's at 10. So it's a very, very high-risk maneuver, to say the least. And all right, boy, if you can make yourself if you can paint yourself as a target and just make sure that the main character doesn't die, because these summons are doing a lot of work. God damn it, Vasaraga. You had one job, apparently. Alright, so wait 1 turn. Mystic Moon. Shield. Do damage. And we just have to sit here and grind out what we can until the reset comes. Because I'm not going to use that full elixir before then. And I think I'm now no longer sure if I've ever soloed this fight without a revive before. I know I've done it with all the others, but this one maybe not. Although also I am going with relatively lower HP than usual. That weapon in the lower left of the grid, which again I'm trying to point to like I actually can right now, is a fairly new addition. I used to have something that gave me some HP and some defense, but I decided to go for all-out offense here, and I may be paying for it a little bit. Alright, so we're... Alright, Vasaraga is almost dead. There is absolutely no way our boy here can do that. And to be fair, there's not much need for it right now. Except just to, you know, paint the target on himself. So, those are not useful. Can you get a triple? I probably should have had him spend his things, but here we are. Right. We'll do this. Alright, go! We're not doing a ton this turn, but we're gonna do something. There is no way that Vasaraga is gonna take less than 5903 here. Yeah, look at his shield just get shredded. Well, we got to 30% in one run, so that's pretty good. Because I feel like 30% is actually pretty close to what the other fights had at their maximum. We restart, we get our buff skills, we get our debuff skills back. So let's do all of this, and basically it's like we're doing the very first turn all over again. Except that we don't have the same kind of easy way to put Kalulu into the red as we did that last section of the fight at the beginning of the battle. So yeah, this one is genuinely pretty hard. But of course, when there's like 5 or 6 people in here just slamming into this thing at the speed of sound, it's a joke, and it vanishes really, really fast. Which, yeah, that kind of means that this event sucks a little bit because, you know, fat chance of getting your points up enough. Those help determine, well, they determine what your ranking is in the raid, and if you get in the top few, you get an extra item. If you make a certain amount of points, you get an extra item. And basically, you want as many of those as possible, to put it simply. Again, we'll give Kalulu the shield, and do the thing with Nero, because we're gonna need a turn or two to get full anyway, I think. Alright, so just a resonance. Okay, never mind. There's our free red zone. So 10k, I feel like it would be really stupid to use that substitute, because we'd probably just lose her, but I think I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna fucking do it. And we're gonna summon Serial again. Alright. Show me potato salad. Oh, never mind. God damn, that hurts. Ooh. Alright, Vasaraga, you know what to do. And that is probably not get hit, and even if you do, probably not be able to trigger recast of your big nuke. I think we're beyond the point of Vasaraga being useful in this raid, which is very unfortunate because he does so much damage. He would provide so much to this fight. And yet here we are. Do we have shields going? We have no shields up. So I'll use Colossus instead of Varuna. That's probably what the attack phase would have looked like with Varuna anyway, so whatever. Oh yes! Oh my god, yes! Oh, that was so good. I'm so glad that he still does that when he's targeted by the 2 hits from Nimbus. Oh, baby. I just need to, like, tune his extended mastery skills more to give him even more hostility, so that way he just gets targeted all the time and keeps looping that constantly. My throat is going a little bit from all the shouting and the screaming and the yelling and the miscellaneous noises. All the noise! I absolutely should get up after this and go get a glass of water. Alright, do your thing, buddy. Yes! And it's Necronia. 9,000 is not going to be enough for Vasaraga to be safe from anything. But we're going to use it anyway. We can use the extra defense anyway. Maybe he'll just survive this by sheer chance. It really is just down to luck. Are you still alive? No. Damn it! Motherfucker! There's no point in doing Reign of Terror right now because he's not about to hit us with anything. In fact, like, nobody in our party has taken damage except for that second slot in any case. So, wow. There's, like, no reason for Marchiares to use a skill at all. Alright, push into break. Come on. Give me the last few minutes of this fight that are completely free now. So again, no point in even bothering getting the boost from Mystic Moon. Oh, does he still have percentage triggers? Oh my god. I didn't know that. Oh, that fucking blows. You piece of shit. Why can't you just go quietly? Fucking chode. So we'll have him do his unholy war cry here. Can you not get to... Okay, right, I forgot Uplift exists. And 4%, come on. Otherwise Marky Mark is gonna get splattered here. Wow, look at that damage! Holy shit! 5 million! Wow! He's getting the lead out! He does not want to die. Unfortunately, I think he's still fucked. Yeah, no, sorry. But I can't fault him for trying. That was absurd! I think that's literally the most damage I've seen anybody pull out of a single charge attack ever. in my entire time playing this game in like 3 years. Holy fuck, that was amazing. Okay, but this fight's over and it took us like half an hour. I'm gonna need a minute of just like, wow, that was ridiculous. Anyway, it's past 9 o'clock, so we don't get our free full meter for our last fight of the day, which is going to just be against regular Luminera Omega. But I'm going to try for something that I've never done in this fight before, and that is that I'm going to try and hope that I get a one-turn kill. Debuff, debuff, debuff. Meter boost. Meter boost. Do this, and again, this fight, I recall having really, really high defense. Yeah, look at that number. That was atrocious. That's not even trying any more numbers. So we want to push a little more defense down. Thunder on the water. Then do the rest of our skills. Yeah, so unfortunately, I very much do not think a one-turn kill is going to happen here. But I do know that this phase of the turn, we do a ton of damage. I could probably be doing more with certain other setups, but I've not bothered to put those together. Oh, we are going to get very close. Oh, never mind. I think we got it. I think we got it. Come on. All we need is 1%. Yeah, all we need is 1% out of this. Sure. That is pretty great. So, you know what? I'll take 2 things I've never done before in a single stream of this game. That was pretty good. And with that said, hopefully we get some summon drops out of this. Yes! Oh, good last 5 minutes of this, everybody. And yeah. Where's my mouse?